Hello everyone, welcome back to You Are Now Podcasted, this time live in front of the European Parliament with Mr. Khalid Omer Youssef. Welcome to Brussels, Mr. Khalid.
Thank you very much.
I would like to ask you, as now we have passed 3 years of the war in Sudan, and unfortunately little is said about it. What is considered the most severe humanitarian crisis in the world? What is the situation of the population over there?
The situation is horrible now and getting worse day by day. Sudan now is not just the worst humanitarian crisis in the world, it is the worst humanitarian catastrophe in the 21st century. More than 14 million have been displaced, around 30 million that in need of humanitarian assistance, and hundreds of thousands have been killed. So the situation is really horrible.
Okay. And what is the conflict today? Seems to be in a stalemate phase. Although fighting continues, it appears less intense. What is the real situation on the ground?
The fighting is continue. No place is safe in Sudan at all. And fighting is not in several areas like Kordofan, like Darfur, like Blue Nile. But also the two fighting sides, they are using drones to bomb each other areas, and that's why there is no safe place in Sudan.
Okay, and as you mentioned, the drones, both armies are accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Is one of them better than the other?
There is no good thing in this war. This is a war of complete evil against the population of Sudan, against the civilians of Sudan, and I always say that it is pointless to try to compare or to take side. Our position is fully independent from the two fighting sides, asking and calling for immediate end of this war to allow the Sudanese people to decide their future.
What are the real reasons behind this war?
The real reason behind this war, this is not just a simple war between two generals. It is more complex than that. Since the independence of Sudan in 1956, Sudan used to be one of the most diverse places in Africa, with more than 500 tribes, with more than 120 languages. And this diversity needs an inclusive framework of governance. But instead of that, the military took over and ruled Sudan for more than 5 decades. 3 decades out of this military rule after the capture of the Muslim Brotherhood to the security sector in Sudan. And when the people in 2019 went to the street, demand their freedom, and they toppled the dictator, they toppled Bashir, they started a very promising transition to democracy. The Muslim Brotherhood used their presence within the security sector to stage the coup in 2021, and then to took the country for a war in 2023, and then to make obstacle to an attempt of peace. So this is a war against the people of Sudan. This is a war that's been ignited by the Islamic movement to continue ruling the country and to punish the people that went to the street in 2019 demanding their freedom.
Okay, but what path should be taken to bring a conflict to the end?
Pressures. There is a need for pressures on the two fighting sides to accept a humanitarian truce without any conditions and immediately, but also there is a need of more targeting for those who are spoiling any attempts for peace, namely here the Islamic movement, the Muslim Brotherhood. Recently, United States designated this group as terrorist organization because of their role in the continuation of the war and their relation to Iran. Europe must follow the step and as well designate this group as terrorist organization to hinder their ability to fuel this conflict.
Okay, but as you mentioned Europe, I would like to ask you, how significant are the international interference in Sudan and which actors are involved?
There are many actors involved. Recent report says that more than 12 actors that are supporting this side or that side. But the most significant report that has been issued recently, just couple of days back, they arrested an Iranian lady, and they charged her with the smuggling of arms to Sudan, namely to South Iranian arms, and also the American designated that the Muslim Brotherhood as with their relation with the Revolutionary Guard in Iran. For that, we are calling for a stop for any kind of intervention from any country in the world that prolong the fighting in Sudan, and for collective effort from the international community to stop the fighting in Sudan.
Okay, and that's what I would like to ask you next. So you appeal to the European institution and international community after the Berlin summit. Could you tell us what do you expect from this?
Berlin summit was a success. Again, we thank the co-host for the Berlin summit, Germany, France, UK, United States, the EU and AU, and to use this day to shed the light on the humanitarian catastrophe in Sudan, and to find a space for more collective work between the international community to stop the war, and for the generous contribution for the humanitarian assistance, which are I think around 1.3 billion euro at EU and member states alone. They contributed 800 million euro, which is very thankful and grateful because the people of Sudan are in need for humanitarian assistance now. Also, there is a significant meeting between some of the civilians group, and here they send a symbolic signal that dialogue is the best way to end conflicts, not fighting, and should be an encouragement to launch an inter-Sudanese dialogue that solve the problem of Sudan through words, not through bullets.
Okay, and as you mentioned dialogue and having the European Parliament behind us, the place of the European dialogue and democratic dialogue, could you tell us a little bit about your meeting that you had today with the European leaders?
Yeah, I had a very fruitful meeting with many of the members of the European Parliament today, and I was mainly reflecting what is taking place now in Sudan and what is needed from Europe at this point. And the main asks, number one, is to exert pressures on the two fighting sides to stop the war immediately and to agree on a humanitarian truce. Number two is to continue the humanitarian assistance for the Sudanese people and not allow any kind of obstacles to deliver this food and medicine for the people. Number three, I ask for more coordination with the important initiatives, especially the Quad initiative, which is the most promising initiative that can stop the war in Sudan. I ask for more coordination between the EU and the Quad countries to advance the implementation of the Quad roadmap. And then I spoke about the spoiling role of the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamists in Sudan. I've asked Europe to do similar step like what the Americans did recently by designating the Islamist movement in Sudan, the Muslim Brotherhood, as terrorist organization to hinder their ability to fuel the war and to spoil the peace initiatives. And finally, I raised the issue of accountability against all the crimes that's committed against the Sudanese people. There are horrible crimes that has been committed, like what happened in Al-Fashir or the use of chemical weapons against Sudanese people. These crimes need to be well documented, and there is accountability needed against those who committed these crimes.
Well, Mr. Khalid, thank you very much for coming, and I wish you very good luck with the European Parliament and the meetings that you're going to have with them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.